The Mustang used to have some balls. It used to be this extremely unwieldy car. Now it's turned into a boring, refined sports car. So I'm going to take you guys on a trip down memory lane with this 2009 GT500. I'll include a link to the Land Rover in Lehigh. They currently have this car for sale. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get into it. Powering this Mustang is a supercharged 5.4 liter V8 that goes through a 6-speed manual, puts out 500 horsepower and then 480 pound-feet of torque. And look at that, hood vents that are actually functional. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help out with that. Now here's a look at those hood vents on the exterior, and then I love these stripes on the Mustang. And this is when the Mustang still had that classic muscle car look. Look at the headlights, and then the grille. Of course, you got the Shelby Cobra. And this body style is just always going to look good because it's such a timeless design. Tire wheel setup is 255 by 45 by 18 in the front, and then is 285 by 40 by 18 in the rear. So not super wide tires, which adds to the fun. We also have Brembo brakes, and I love the wheels on this. We of course have another Cobra there with the GT500 decal below. And again, look at the side silhouette of this car. Now, do you guys remember when key fobs were just simple things? We have the lock and unlock function, and then you can see here you have a key that you stick in the ignition like it should be. Love the spoiler, and I love how the stripes continue onto the spoiler. Now, I will say the modern Mustang definitely has a cooler kind of look with the taillights, but these with the boxiness still look really good. And look at the size of those exhaust tips. So that'll sum things up for the exterior, but again, this is when muscle cars still looked like muscle cars. Let's check out the interior. No fancy trim here. I mean, a little bit of soft touch there on the door panel, but this stuff holds up really well. Durability was kind of a thing back in the day. Look at these seats. They're basically brand new in the rear. And the driver's seat that's gonna have the most wear and tear, again, also looks basically brand new. Got our 3-pedal layout because it's a manual, and boy, does that look cool. And again, key in the ignition so you feel like you're a part of the car. Man, this thing really is mint. I mean, even the steering wheel looks brand new, and look at that, you don't have a billion buttons on the steering wheel. It's very simplistic. And you remember we used to have cool analog gauges? Like, look at that. Why can't we have this in modern cars? And something else, modern cars have kind of forgotten, you know, vents used to also be part of the design rather than just making them an ugly thing in the car. Like, this actually looks good. And obviously for the day, this would have been kind of an advanced infotainment system, but when you look at it today, it's like, this is nice. I hate like the 15-inch screen that controls everything in the car. Like, you have physical buttons around, and is this actually a touchscreen? It is actually a touchscreen. I mean, it's pretty laggy with the response time, but I'd rather have this than the new crap. And would you look at that, physical climate controls. And of course, we got the shifter for the 6-speed manual. This thing is epic. And no stupid electronic tab for the parking brake. You get an actual unit. And you have stuff that makes sense. Cup holders, you can see the center console here. Again, nice trim on the top. And that's kind of the theme with this car. Like, it's just basic, but it works. So let's take this out and see how it performs. Now, you might be wondering the price on this beautiful machine. They're asking just over $43,000. It's got 11,000 miles on it. So I'll tell you, I got no clue in the market on these GT500s. I just put this in a review because I thought, you know what? This is a cool car with a horrible turning radius. And sometimes it goes like that. Like, I show up to a dealership and they have a cool car and I had no plans of filming it, and then there we are. So, man, the steering, this is pretty heavy. I will say, this Land Rover dealership, like, you guys should just put their website in your, whatever, your history or whatever, because they get really cool trade-ins. There's a lot of tech money here in Utah now, and a lot of those tech people they just buy random cars and then they come and trade them in here. This and the I don't film with them sadly yet, hopefully in the future. The Audi and Porsche and Lehigh, they also get really cool trade-ins. So let's see how this thing goes. I will say right off the bat, this engine feels so much crazier than the 5.0 that's in the Mustang currently. The 5.0 has pretty similar power, but this, with the supercharger and the extra torque that it has, sorry, let me lean the seat back a little bit more for you guys. This feels crazy. Now, this is when the Mustang still had a solid rear axle, So that's where you get the crowd killer memes. Because with a solid rear axle and this much horsepower and rear wheel drive, yeah, the back end, it's not gonna stay planted. But again, that was part of that was the charm with this. It was such an uncontrollable car. Oh man, that was a bad rev match. We'll try that again. It's always hard to like, this thing revs up way quicker than I thought it would. There we go, a little bit better there. Yeah, I was kind of expecting it to just be a little blippy, but no, that was a big blip. So, pretty impressive. This thing feels so much more raw, and you know, this is when cars still had hydraulic steering, so it's heavy, but you can actually feel what's happening in the steering. It's not like, what's the word for it? It's not synthetic like the new stuff. It's got so much. I know you guys are wanting an acceleration. Don't worry, we'll get an acceleration in a moment. I'm just trying to feel out the car. It's got so much power. Is that a check engine light? Well, it is a Ford, so I'll have to go check my video and see if that was there at the beginning. I don't think it was. This is so much fun. I love the sounds this makes. And the transmission's really sharp. It's super easy to get it into gear. So the gear lever itself is not necessarily the nicest feeling thing on the planet, but okay, let's let her rock a little bit. Oh man, you get the supercharger whine too? This is cool. I know people are gonna get mad at me for driving like a grandpa, but I also don't want to end up in the side of the road. Gotta remember, solid rear axle. And also, I don't know what that check engine light's about. I don't know if it's just, because I've owned some Fords and sometimes they just throw lights just for fun. They're like, yo, what's up? Here's a check engine light, here's this light. Oh, it'll be gone in 2 seconds. So, I don't want to break anything if there is actually a real issue. So, in conclusion, the Mustang used to be this. Crazy power, crazy acceleration, unwieldy, and now it's this refined gentleman's sports car. It's boring to drive, frankly. Like, this actually feels like an occasion. This, again, doesn't handle nearly as well as the new Mustang, but I do think that, like, after driving this, and after driving the new one, and I owned a GT350, I still think the GT350 is the best Mustang because you get steering feel, you get some level of refinement with still some unrefinement that makes it fun and aggressive. It's like the perfect balance. So like the, what is it, the S550 generation, that's probably the best. That's probably the best generation. And more specifically, again, the GT350. That's still the best Mustang. But hopefully Ford understands that we don't want giant screen. Like, the Mustang has a giant screen across the dash. We don't care about that. What the Mustang needs to have is just a crazy engine, crazy performance, and feedback, right? Like, hey, the steering, let me know what's happening. And, you know, make it a little bit unwieldy. Make it something that, like, kind of gets away from you so that it's a little bit fun to drive. What are your thoughts?